Welcome to Golden Flame Stars. Today, we journey back to the golden age of classic Hollywood, a time when the silver screen shimmered with timeless beauty, unforgettable talent, and legendary charm. But behind the dazzling spotlight lay hidden sorrows, buried scandals, and personal battles carefully kept from public view. In this episode, we unveil the untold stories behind the icons who shaped an era, stole the hearts of millions, and left behind a legacy both magical and haunting. These are not just stars, they are human, flawed, and fascinating. Jean Seberg was the embodiment of fragility, rebellion, and tragic allure in 1960s cinema. Born in Iowa, she was thrust into stardom at 17 after being cast as Joan of Arc, though harsh criticism followed. She found new freedom in France with Breathless, 1960, becoming a muse of the French New Wave. Off-screen, she supported civil rights causes and became a target of FBI harassment. False accusations and psychological pressure from COINTELPRO destroyed her mental health. She struggled with depression and the trauma of a stillborn child. Though immensely talented, she never escaped public scrutiny and inner turmoil. She was found dead in 1979 in her car in Paris, an apparent suicide at age 41. Her legacy lives on as a symbol of both cinematic beauty and political cost. Peter O'Toole was the embodiment of brilliance, excess, and theatrical grandeur in British cinema. Born in either Ireland or England, he often joked he didn't know which. He was raised in poverty and rebellion. He became a legend with Lawrence of Arabia, 1962, earning instant global fame, followed by Beckett, 1964. Off-screen, he was a notorious drinker, surviving serious health crises and a nearly fatal illness in the 1970s. Despite 8 Oscar nominations, he never won competitively, a fact that became part of his myth. His flamboyant wit, razor-sharp intelligence, and chaotic charm made him beloved by colleagues and fans alike. He retired with dignity and passed away in 2013 at age 81 after a long illness. His legacy endures as one of cinema's most gifted and complex actors. Rita Hayworth was the embodiment of sensuality, vulnerability, and classic Hollywood mystique. Born Margarita Carmen Cancino to a Spanish dancer father and Irish-American mother, she was pushed into performance from an early age. Her transformation into Rita Hayworth included painful electrolysis to change her hairline and erase her ethnic identity. She captivated audiences in Gilda, 1946, and The Lady from Shanghai, 1947, becoming the ultimate wartime pin-up. Behind the glamour, she endured 5 failed marriages and deep emotional trauma. She suffered from early-onset Alzheimer's disease, which went undiagnosed for years and was often mistaken for alcoholism. Her final years were spent in seclusion. She died in 1987 at the age of 69 from complications related to Alzheimer's, becoming a symbol of beauty shadowed by tragedy. Marvin was the embodiment of the cold, rugged anti-hero in post-war Hollywood. Born into a strict middle-class family and a descendant of George Washington, he had a rebellious youth and was expelled from school multiple times. He served in the U.S. Marine Corps and was wounded in the Battle of Saipan, receiving the Purple Heart. He rose to stardom with Cat Ballou, 1965, winning an Oscar, and The Dirty Dozen, 1967. Marvin became a tabloid figure after a palimony lawsuit in 1971 set a legal precedent in the U.S. He struggled with alcoholism and had a volatile reputation off-screen, including public altercations. Despite this, his honesty and raw talent earned deep respect in the industry. He died of a heart attack in 1987 at the age of 63. Tony Curtis was the embodiment of charm, ambition, and classic matinee idol appeal in mid-century Hollywood. Born into poverty in the Bronx to Hungarian Jewish immigrants, he endured a harsh upbringing, including time in an orphanage and the trauma of witnessing his brother's death. Determined to escape his past, he pursued acting with relentless drive. He rose to stardom with Sweet Smell of Success, 1957, and delivered a career-defining performance in The Boston Strangler, 1968. Behind the scenes, Curtis battled drug addiction, a turbulent personal life, and 6 failed marriages. Though often dismissed early on for his looks, he later earned respect for his dramatic depth. In his later years, he turned to painting and memoir writing. He died in 2010 at age 85 from cardiac arrest. Jane Russell was the embodiment of boldness, sensuality, and unapologetic glamour in Golden Age Hollywood. Born in Minnesota and raised in California, She was discovered by Howard Hughes, who molded her image as a sex symbol. She skyrocketed to fame in The Outlaw, 1943, then held her own alongside Marilyn Monroe in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, 1953. Despite her provocative image, Russell was deeply religious and politically conservative. She struggled privately with infertility, later adopting children and advocating for adoption reform. Rumors swirled about her clashes with studios and her strong stance against feminism. She defied expectations with humor and toughness, never shying from controversy. She died in 2011 at age 90 from respiratory failure, leaving behind a complex legacy as both icon and rebel. Raquel Welch was the embodiment of sex appeal, strength, and star power in 1960s pop culture. Born Jo Raquel Tejada to a Bolivian-American father, she battled ethnic stereotyping in early Hollywood. She became a global sensation with 1 Million Years BC, 1966, and Fantastic Voyage, 1966, despite minimal dialogue. Often cast for her beauty, she longed to be taken seriously as an actress. She navigated Hollywood's sexism with wit and determination, refusing to do nude scenes and maintaining strict control over her image. In her later years, she built a successful business and fitness brand. Though rarely seen in public in her final years, she remained admired. She passed away in 2023 at age 82 from cardiac arrest after a brief illness. Burt Lancaster was the embodiment of intensity and transformation in post-war Hollywood. With his athletic build, piercing eyes, and commanding presence, he transitioned from action hero to respected dramatic actor. Born into a working-class Irish-American family in New York, he grew up on the streets and worked as a circus acrobat before turning to acting. His standout films were Elmer Gantry, 1960, which won him an Oscar, and The Leopard, 1963, a European classic. Lancaster was known for his strong political views, civil rights activism, and clashes with the Hollywood establishment. He had affairs with both women and, as rumored, men, something rarely acknowledged publicly at the time. He passed away in 1994 following a heart attack and stroke at age 81. Sidney Poitier was the embodiment of dignity, quiet strength, and groundbreaking achievement in American cinema. Born in Miami but raised in the Bahamas, he moved to the U.S. as a teen with little formal education. He broke racial barriers with Lilies of the Field, 1963, winning an Oscar, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, 1967. Off-screen, he carried the burden of representing Black America in a racially divided era. He was both praised and criticized for his dignified, model characters. Later, he became a director, ambassador, and author, remaining an advocate for equality and art. Respected globally, he was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II. He passed away in 2022 at age 94 from heart failure, leaving a towering legacy of purpose and progress. Thank you for watching. We hope this deep dive into the untold stories, triumphs, and tragedies of Hollywood's golden age stars give you a new perspective on the icons behind the spotlight. Their beauty and fame were legendary, but their lives were often more complex than we ever imagined. If this journey moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts or favorite 1960s actors in the comments below. There are still many hidden chapters waiting to be uncovered, so join us next time as we explore more of classic Hollywood's most captivating legacies.